English teaching are multilingualism, bilingualism, globalization, and also religious uses. Bilingualism refers to those countries that have more than an official language. Bilingualism refers to the second language which is learned or taught from you are a little child for your parents. Religious use refer to those countries that have made their own language because of our religious use.
Linguistic imperialism is the imposition of English because of the British colonies in all over the world. Nowadays, imperialism isn't just England, United States too. These two countries impose their culture and their way of life in different countries along ages. The Anglo-Saxon culture invaded us in different ways. In the present, in the 21st century, for example, the music, the books, the movies, and the fashion makes are English speaking. English is an universal language. Thousands of people speak English and use the language as a tool for communication, rise, got better opportunities, etc. Nowadays, it is impossible to imagine a world without English.
How can we make a relationship between these two topics? Well, how we refer before English as a language is used as a tool all around the world because of the processes of English imperialism and globalization. Now we will show you 3 interviews answering the question. So, what do you think? What is the importance of English teaching here in Chile?
It's really important. It is a cultural thing because English is the most important language nowadays, whether we like it or not. Everybody communicates in the language. And it's also important because of the laws passed by the government. The government says that we do have to have a second language here, well, in this case, a foreign language, and everybody just speaks English. So it's become the most important language for everybody, and for our country it's important too. That's why we do have some scholarships for you guys to go to different countries, English-speaking countries, to study for 1 semester and then come back here and everything. So I think it's become important both culturally and for the government.
And does it have a relation with the globalization?
Of course it does. Wherever you go, whatever information you try to find, it's very likely to be in English. All things, computers, for example, computers vocabulary is all based on English, and wherever you go, use an English is gonna open doors for you, and it's a really important thing to keep in mind that although we don't really have English as a second language, it's becoming so important all over the world that we do need to learn it, and to take into account the importance of having a second language and having a foreign language, but still culturally speaking, English is becoming more and more important for us because of the globalization and because of it is a tool for us to be able to communicate abroad and to do business and to study and all the things that are involved in life.
Well, thank you very much.
What is the importance of English teaching here in Chile?
What is important?
Yes.
I think that we must highlight the fact that methodology should be taken into account, not broadly but narrowly. I mean that when you encounter the classroom context, you don't know how to manage it, so you have to be very careful in what to do or what to not do. Right?
But why English is so important nowadays?
It is important since you have to use it at work. It it improves your career, whatever you are doing. For example, if you work at as a businessman, you're going to use it a lot, since we have many agreements with countries overseas, you know.
Does it have a relation with globalization?
Yes, absolutely. Because English opens a lot of doors, and also it doesn't matter if you are talking to someone who is from Germany or Italy, you can use English, and if English functions like a bridge, you know, between me and another person from that doesn't speak Spanish, for example, like a lingua franca. You can talk to whoever you want, just using one language, which is English. And I think that helps globalization, because if you see now, we are, for example, using, I don't know, cell phones from the United States, or websites like Facebook, which is from the United States, or I don't know, we listen to music from other countries just because of one language.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
What is the importance of English teaching here in Chile?
Well, I think that it's of course very important, because there is a tendency nowadays in the country, where people think they need to learn English. You see, in order to earn more money, to get better jobs, stuff like that. So yes, it is important in Chile. It's far more important than than the teaching or learning of any other language, any other foreign language, which I think is a bit.
And does it have a relation with globalization?
Of course, it has. Yes, actually, that's why nowadays it is important to learn English, because we need to be competitive. We need to be part of this world where English and the English, I mean, and the Anglo-Saxon culture is, the most predominant one, or the one which is more influential. You see, so yes, they are closely related. And now I think that I think that this has an issue, in the sense that globalization has some benefits, but at the same time it has some some issues, some problems, because because cultures and people tend to lose their own national identities, and other cultures or languages, they they lose importance, or they are not regarded at the same status that maybe English is nowadays. For instance, the Mapuche culture and the Mapuche language, or any indigenous language here in the country. There are social aspects, there are lots of attitudes related to those languages, you see.
As we saw in the previous interviews, the Anglo-Saxon culture is part of our lives. Many times we don't realize it. Nowadays, we live in a globalized society, and we need English as a tool to reach a better job and to gain a better life quality. But we should be careful, because globalization is destroying all the other cultures around the world, and is creating a global English hegemony.